Look at this brutal red pen strike. A massive, unforgiving zero circling what you thought was a completely flawless calculation. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're tearing down exactly why brilliant students are literally hemorrhaging marks in Cambridge IGCSE Physics 0625, and more importantly, how to stop it immediately. We're looking directly at the examiner's red pen today, exposing those hidden traps in measurement, units, and data processing that can absolutely destroy your grade boundaries. If you're tired of losing marks on questions you actually know the physics for, you are definitely in the right place.
0. That is exactly what a perfectly calculated, mathematically flawless answer is going to score you on the final paper if you leave out a single tiny detail. The unit. Just imagine the crushing realization of doing all that heavy lifting. Recalling the exact formula, substituting the variables flawlessly, navigating your calculator under immense exam pressure, only to be handed a 0 because you forgot to write J for joules or A for amps. It's heartbreaking. And the crazy part is, it happens thousands of times, every single exam series.
So we really have to ask ourselves, why did this perfect calculation score a 0? To survive IGCSE Physics, you have to completely shift your perspective. You can't just think like a student anymore. You have to develop an examiner-first mindset. Cambridge examiners aren't just testing if you memorized a formula. They're testing your ability to communicate scientific data accurately. A number without a unit? Well, it's just a number. It has absolutely no physical meaning in the real world. Simple measurement errors and formatting mistakes are the silent assassins of grade boundaries.
Okay, let's dive right into this hit list. These are the most common, painful mistakes that trigger that examiner's red pen. We've got missing units, rounding too early in your calculation steps, vague explanations that totally ruin your theory marks, and graph axis errors, or wrong variables that will just destroy your practical marks. Not to mention drawing conclusions that simply aren't supported by the data table. And here is the brutal truth. Ordinary revision completely fails to fix this. Reading your textbook or flipping through flashcards? Sure, that'll teach you the concepts, but it will not train you to survive the examiner's strict formatting rules.
Now, let's escalate the stakes here and look at how directly these specific mistakes translate into lost marks. Missing a unit? That's an automatic loss of the final evaluation mark. Gone. Rounding a number too early in Part A of a question? That creates a compounding error that destroys your answers in Part B and Part C. Vague explanations are going to get you 0 marks for scientific reasoning, no matter how much you actually write down. And graph axis errors, you can say goodbye to your gradient and scale marks. These aren't just minor slip-ups, guys. They are systematic mark droppers.
Take a look at this math skills grid. It's straight from the Cambridge IGCSE Physics 0625 source material, and it brilliantly illustrates exactly why these skills are so absolutely critical. Look at how deeply embedded these mathematical and data processing skills are across the entire syllabus. Chapter 1 focuses entirely on representing values. Choosing the right units, determining significant figures, and working with standard form. Chapter 2 is all about recording and processing data in tables. Chapter 3 dictates how to choose axes, plot points, and draw best fit lines. And Chapter 4 requires you to determine gradients, intercepts, and relationships from those graphs. The takeaway here, if you're weak in this grid, you are vulnerable across the entire exam paper.
In a moment, I'll show you the examiner clue that changes the answer completely. But first, you need the framework that makes that clue obvious. I want you to keep this secret tucked in the back of your mind. There is a very specific trigger in the exam paper that dictates exactly how your final answer must look. But if you don't have a systematic way of writing your responses, you are going to completely miss it. So let's build that system right now.
This right here is the definitive, logical sequence you must use to construct top-band answers that actually fulfill those tricky Cambridge command words like describe, explain, and evaluate. Step 1. State the core physics concept or equation. Step 2. Pull the exact evidence or data from the provided table, graph, or source. Step 3. Apply scientific reasoning to logically connect that data to the concept. And finally, Step 4. Polish the whole thing with examiner wording, meaning correct terminology, units, and formatting.
So the crucial point is seeing this framework in action. Let's put our examiner hats on for a second and compare these two answers. The flawed answer says, the energy is big around 23456 because it heated up fast. The red pen would absolutely tear this apart. Big and fast are super vague, non-scientific terms. The number is completely raw, it's unformatted, and there is no unit. Now look at the top band answer. Energy transferred equals 2.3 times 10 to the power of 4 joules to two significant figures. Calculated using E equals mc delta T,
matching the least precise given data. Boom! It uses standard form, it has the correct J unit, it names the specific equation, and it justifies the rounding. That is a guaranteed maximum mark response.
Now it is your turn. It's time for a Spot the Error challenge. I want you to mentally pause and predict what you do right here. You've done the math, and your calculator screen is shining brightly with the number 4.5678. But you look back at the question, and the data provided to you was a current of 2.1 amps and a voltage of 3.4 volts. If you write down 4.5678 on that final answer line, the examiner is going to strike it right out. Why? What is the hidden trap here? Take a second to think about it.
Did you catch it? The trap is significant figures. Here is the golden examiner-approved methodology. Your final calculated answer absolutely must match the least precise piece of data provided in the question. Looking back at our challenge, both 2.1 amps and 3.4 volts are given to two significant figures. That was the examiner clue I promised you earlier. Because the source data is limited to two significant figures, your calculator's long string of 4.5678 must be rounded to match it. So the correct full mark answer you write down is 4.6, followed by the correct unit. Anything else just throws away the precision mark.
To prevent these silent mark droppers, you really need to run through this final answer checkpoint before you even think about turning the page to the next exam question. Ask yourself, is the correct equation explicitly stated? Are the values substituted accurately before rearranging? Is the correct unit attached to the final number? Is it rounded to the appropriate significant figures based on the question's data? Are standard form prefixes like kilo or milli used correctly? And finally, is the number actually reasonable in a real-world physics context? Because if you calculate the speed of a toy car to be faster than the speed of light, you know you've made a mistake.
Okay, so we've built this incredible, foolproof system to secure every single mathematical and formatting mark available. But this creates a massive new problem. What happens when applying this high-mark framework, running through those checkpoints, and carefully formatting your significant figures just takes too much time? The exam clock is completely relentless. If you spend 5 minutes perfectly formatting a 2-mark question, you are going to run out of time before you even reach those high-value data analysis questions at the back of the paper. We absolutely have to solve this timing pressure.
The only way to survive the clock while maintaining this red pen rescue level of accuracy is to automate your pacing. You now have the ultimate framework to secure every single mark, but the ultimate question remains, can you execute it before the clock runs out? To discover the exact timed answer writing system you need to deploy these frameworks at lightning speed, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE, to excel in your Cambridge examinations. The clock is ticking. Will you be ready when the examiner picks up their red pen? I'll see you in the next explainer.